join us in Germany, where we are in the forest circuit of Hockenheim, the legendary circuit next to Heidelberg. Last season's race saw Kubica win from Jensen Button and Mark Genet. Rosberg, who did start on pole for that race, retired with an engine failure. And there's the circuit. It's characterised by 4 extremely long straights, great for action. One team that won't be joining that action will be Pedersen. Remarkably, they switched to the harder tyres for this qualifying session and they didn't make it through. FF1M Autodynamics also failed to qualify, so the AJ team makes an appearance in a race. The session itself was topped by X-Elite. And here's action from the FF2M race at Silverstone. Giacomo Ricci is in the lead there from Felipe Massa, Adam Carroll, Vitaly Petrov, D'Ambrosio, Di Grassi, Alesian and Nakajima. It was Ricci on pole, and he maintains that lead as Massa jumped Adam Carroll for second place. Although the Brit looking to impress in front of his home crowd, trying to get the inside of Massa into the Stowe corner. Not quite making it stick. And he has his teammate Petrov behind him. As we focus on Diego Nunes. And there's a spinner at the back. We got a spin. Tough to tell who that was. It looked like an OLM. If it was, then it will have been Chandok. And there's Massa taking the lead. And some action here from Lucas Di Grassi taking 4th place from Petrov and challenging Ricci for 3rd now. Carroll has got past the Italian driver for Super Dodgy. Squeezing up the inside, that's a good move there from Lucas Di Grassi. Just looking at some action there. Nakajima making his way up to 6th past Ambrosio. And Michael Herc for Youngblood, the SF1 junior team, making his way past Ambrosio, so the Shamrock driver dropping back a little bit. Qualified well in 6th place, but his race pace is not looking that strong. And there we saw Herc moving up to 6th, so he's flying. So the order so far: Massa from Petrov, from Nakajima, D'Ambrosio, Mortara up to 5th, because Adam Carroll and Lucas Di Grassi have both made pit stops. And Di Grassi seems the happier driver on these new tyres. But Carroll being held up by D'Ambrosio probably, and moving his way up to 4th place. And Di Grassi having a look into maggots. Surely there won't be enough room. Di Grassi making his way past Carroll. And look at that, Felipe Massa's tagged him. Tagged to back marker. And he's had his wheel ripped off by Petrov. Or was that Petrov? It was Paffett, sorry. So that's drama. Felipe Massa out of the race and looking like he's not going to score any points. This gives a good opportunity to Di Grassi now, who now leads. Petrov, seemingly having stayed out too long, has dropped down to 6th. Fastest lap going to Eduardo Mortara for Autodynamics Junior. He's currently running in, well, 6th place now. He's got past a driver. And up to 3rd. Sorry, 4th goes Vitaly Petrov, passing Nakajima. Now he's chasing Michael Herc for 3rd, and he's got him into Brooklands. The Russian moving up to 3rd. Petrov, in fact, is joining SF1 for 2009, as the silly season is now well underway. The first piece of news for the silly season was, well, when it started anyway, Hamilton had extended his shake and bake contract, and Andy Racing announced their lineup. It's the same as this season, in fact. Sutil and PK. Andy Racing have actually had a very good season. They run very strongly in the race, and they're hoping with PK and Sutil will continue that charge for them. So that was Degrassi winning for Danish Racing, ahead of Adam Carroll, Vitaly Petrov, Nakajima, Mortara, Michael Herc, D'Ambrosio, Yoshimoto, and Ricky getting 2 points for that pole position, but failing to finish inside the top 8. So the top 8 reverses itself, which means it's an all Shamrock front row, and D'Ambrosio getting a better start ahead of the Monaco race winner, Hiroki Yoshimoto. It looks like Michael Herc's had a poor start. He's dropped a position at Petrov, who has had an absolute flyer from 6th on the grid. Mortara 5th, Degrassi 6th, Nakajima 7th, and Adam Carroll 8th. A good start from Degrassi, up from 8th to 6th, as they all battle into Stowe Corner. Yoshimoto in the lead, and off goes one of the drivers. Rodriguez is out of the race, and that's Adam Carroll. So what's happened here? Oh, that was a big accident. Frightening collision. And we slow it down here. It's an STV. It must be Elysian. And there's Rodriguez spinning around. Gonna whack the barrier head first. Smash. Off goes the right-hand corner. It is Elysian for STV. And he got shunted up the back there, and he's nearly flipped it! That was scary for everyone involved. This should be a good view. So let's slow it down. Elysian tries to get past Carroll, gets whacked up the back by Roldan Rodriguez, and very nearly Nakajima got collected by the big wreckage. So all that moves Parent up to 8th place, and he started in 16th. So the order so far is Yoshimoto from Petrov, D'Ambrosio, Degrassi, Herc, Nakajima, Mortara, and Parent. And Ricky looking to make up for his disappointment in the last race, trying to make up his way up the order. It's Degrassi who's the fastest man on the track, as he just takes 3rd place from D'Ambrosio. Degrassi was another driver that announced his move up into FF1M with Guy Racing. And the Brazilian team yet to confirm a 2nd driver, and we know it won't be Robert Kubica, who is off to FJR, replacing Fernando Alonso. And FJR have also signed Felipe Massa, the STV driver. We'll try and see what position or how far he gets up the order after his collision with Gary Paffett. And there is Felipe, and he's already up to 8th at half distance, taking Zaug for 7th. One more position and he'll be in the points. Adrian Zaug, meanwhile, has announced that he will join Pedersen. And Kamui Kobayashi will also drive for Pedersen as well. And Kobayashi, one of the potential stars of the future. And Felipe Massa taking 6th from Parent. He's in the points. He needs this because Di Grassi has taken a huge load out of his championship lead. And he's right behind the Japanese driver of Kazuki Nakajima. Gonna get him into Cop's corner. And flying up the inside goes Felipe Massa up to 5th. Parent taking 6th from Nakajima, so the Japanese drivers dropping back. Massa now challenging 4th place D'Ambrosio. There's 3 laps to go. And he is 5 seconds behind Yoshimoto, the other Shamrock. Not anymore, there he is! Massa is going to take 3rd place. He started 20th on the grid, and he just steamed up the order. No doubt one of the reasons why FJR have signed him. And it's Di Grassi who wins the race. And now he's only 3 points behind the Brazilian of Felipe Massa, who, even with his remarkable 3rd place, hangs on to the championship lead by 3 points. And Petrov not too far behind either. He's only 5 points behind Massa. So the championship hotting up very nicely in FF2M. Now, onto the FF1M action. We look at Anthony Davidson for X-Elite. 4th in Q1. X-Elite's looking very fast here. Bourdais was in 2nd place. And they're using the Forest circuit, of course. Only one season have they used the 2002 layout. In that season they used the shorter layout, which proved unpopular amongst most drivers. Mark Genet, Dartwolf using the softer tyres now, and Mark Webber was 7th fastest, and Genet was 10th in Q1. The session topped itself by Lewis Hamilton, but X-Elite had both cars in the top 4. Now we're seeing times coming quickly. Bruno Senna going 3/4 of a second faster than Jenson Button. As Boemi goes 4th. Alexander Wirtz, he's in FF1M again. It has been his last season, but Nico Rosberg is without a drive. After FJR team boss James Brickles felt that his performance wasn't good enough, especially compared to Fernando Alonso. Maldonado goes fastest by 7/10 of a second, and Kubica goes 3rd. Now Pantano goes only 17th. 17th for Pantano? What's happened there? Anyway, Rosberg has been given the axe. His 3-year contract ending early. And there was quite a lot of interest as to who would replace Rosberg for the remaining races, but eventually James Brickles, the team boss of FJR, announced that Alexander Wirtz would be replacing him. He announced this during the mid-season test at Brno. As we look at Neil Yarney, the shake and bake driver. His future's quite uncertain. Lewis Hamilton already been confirmed at shake and bake, but we don't know where Neil Yarney's going to go. He's been quite a way off the pace of his teammate. And there he only goes 16th, so his future in jeopardy. As we look at Wirtz crossing the line, and it's 20th. Have FJR made a mistake in getting rid of Rosberg? Senna goes 2nd, but 6/10 behind his own teammate. Maldonado's lap looking very impressive, and Shannon looking very strong here. Nick Heidfeld for AJ. Got a car right behind him, it's a Dodge, and then he goes 22nd. Here's Alonso. Horrendously unlucky to have that engine failure with a few laps to go. Running second, and although being pressured by Jenson Button, was actually catching Pantano, the race leader at the time. And who knows, if he had kept going, maybe he could have caught Pantano and taken the win, because we know Jenson Button was absolutely flying, and he overtook that very driver, Pantano, and that seems to have knocked his confidence, because he's only gone 14th, and Jenson Button has just gone 3rd. Hamilton 6th with that effort. That's a particularly good lap time. Here's Maldonado looking to improve on his own blistering time, and he's done so by 0.3 of a second. That's hugely impressive. And can Senna do anything about it? And no, he can't. He's 0.8 behind the Venezuelan. That just shows how impressive Maldonado is looking. Of course, Shannon didn't have to pre-qualify, so we didn't know how close these two drivers were, and it seems to have affected Senna a little bit. And Bourdais crossing the line for X-Elite to go 10th fastest. So X-Elite's not looking quite as impressive as they looked in Q1, but still in the top half of the grid. Clean goes 13th. Quite unsure about where he's going to be driving next season, and that's 19th for PK. Kubica goes 5th, and it looks like that Polish driver, Robert Kubica, even though he's FJR bound, seems to have found quite a bit of speed since the Austrian Grand Prix. And Pantano cannot improve on his own lap time too much. He's down to 15th. Mark Webber now using soft tyres for Dark Wolf. He went 12th with that effort. So it's an all Shannon front row by 1.3 seconds from Jenson Button. Alonso taking 4th, ahead of Kubica 5th, Hamilton 6th, Genet 7th, Trulli, Pantano and Coulthard completing the top 10.